Everyone in this city has already decided who's to blame for the housing crisis, and they're mostly wrong. Walk through Poblenou and you'll see the evidence. Laptop cafes, English on every menu, a "No Digital Nomad" sign taped to a door. It looks like an open and shut case. Get this wrong, and the actual mechanism keeps running, untouched, while everyone argues about laptops in cafes. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which system built this crisis, and it isn't the one you think. How does a city run out of room for its own people? Barcelona didn't run out of space. It ran out of something else. Spanish house prices climbed almost 13% last year alone, the 12th year in a row they've gone up. In Barcelona specifically, rent has roughly doubled over the past decade. And that number turns into something else once you're living inside it. Flatmates who are strangers. Eviction notices nobody saw coming. People in their late 20s moving back into the bedroom they grew up in, not because they want to, because nothing else adds up anymore. So, who's actually doing this to them? Here's the answer everyone already has ready. Digital nomads. Spain built a visa for them back in 2023, and since then, remote workers from all over the world have been landing in specific neighborhoods. Poblenou, Gracia. You can see it if you know where to look. Laptop cafes where there used to be a bakery. Menus in English. No digital nomad signs taped to apartment doors. And the money is real. A nomad earning in dollars or euros from abroad spends more per month than most Barcelona residents make, which means the cafes, the listings, the whole street starts adjusting to someone who isn't from here. It's the most visible part of this story, which is exactly why it's the part everyone points to first. Now, the second part, the part that doesn't fit. Spain's digital nomad visa has issued about 32,000 permits total since 2023. Spain welcomed 97 million international visitors last year. Do the math. Nomads are a rounding error. And here's where it gets interesting. If remote workers were really driving this, the crisis would stay in a few neighborhoods, a few cities. It isn't. It's national, hitting towns that have never seen a laptop cafe in their life. Housing researchers have said it plainly. This risks becoming a scapegoat, a convenient villain for something much bigger. Start with the simplest fact. Spain isn't building enough homes. Around 120 to 140,000 a year, a sixth of the rate before 2008. Now add the loophole. Landlords converting long-term leases into short-stay listings, more profitable, fewer protections for tenants. Arguably the biggest crack in the system. Now add the bigger one. For over a decade, Spain let wealthy foreigners buy residency just by purchasing property over €500,000. In Barcelona, those purchases made up more than 5% of all home sales in a single stretch of years. That's not a rounding error. That's a current. Add wages that never caught up. Salaries barely moved while rent kept climbing. Even without one foreigner arriving, locals would still be squeezed. And add a government that saw it, passed a €7 billion housing plan, then watched a rent freeze bill die in Parliament, while tourism-dependent regions slow-walk enforcement. And then, finally, it clicks. All of it, at once. Underbuilding. The rental loophole, a visa built for the wealthy, wages that stayed still, a government that knew and hesitated. None of that is a digital nomad with a laptop in a cafe. That's the mechanism. That's how it actually works. The blame doesn't belong to any one group. It belongs to a system that let capital move faster than housing ever could. Locals are the ones paying the difference. If you want to understand how a city fights back against that, the next thing worth understanding is what actually happens when rent control meets a market like this. That's a different mechanism entirely.
If you liked our video, don't forget to hit the bell icon and subscribe to Daily Hunt English.